Yo, what up, fam? This is KG from Top Prize Podcast, man. I'm coming back at you with another one. And this one today is pretty much based on, how we raise our kids, man. Is pretty much based on how we raise our kids, and if we don't come together and raise our kids the way they need to be raised, they can end up in a lot of different situations that's not ideal for them, and it's definitely not ideal for you as a parent because how you would feel once they fall down a particular path and things like that. So today is an unpopular opinion day. It's an unpopular opinion day. And today's unpopular opinion is straightforward. It's okay to understand as a parent that your voice is no longer being tolerated by your children. That doesn't mean that you are failing as a parent. That means that it's time for a different voice. That's exactly what that means. Sometimes it's time for a different voice. So, once again, unpopular opinion is understanding as a parent that your voice is no longer being tolerated by your children. And like I said, once again, it does not mean that you are failing as a parent. That means that it's time for a different voice. That's what that means. It's time for a different voice. Now, with that being said, what I mean that it's time for a different voice, that means it's time for both parents to get involved. It's time for both parents. And all honesty, I've said this multiple times already before. Like, I just wish we figure out a way, mother, father, we come together, we push our differences to the side and come in and coach these kids. Because kids know how to manipulate the system and play both sides. But there is no both sides when both of y'all are on the same side. Yes, he cheated on you. Yes, you cheated on him. Yes, y'all broke each other's hearts. Whatever the case may be. Like I said in my last episode, as long as there's no child molestation involved, then it should be all hands on deck. Personally, grandmother, if grandma's in the house, that's another voice. But honestly, that's not her child. So she can only give her opinion. She can give her thoughts. She can also bring in a level of discipline. But at this point in grandma's life, she don't have that same energy she had when she was raising us. So the voices that needs to be heard needs to come firm. I'm talking about firm, hard, and direct from both parents, mother, father. It has to be. Because if not, these kids, they going to fall down a path where they not going to listen. Your voice will no longer be the end all be all. And they're going to find somebody else whose voice is going to trump yours. And it just so happened it might be somebody from the streets. One of their little raggedy friends that's living in a situation where they have entirely too much freedom. Their parents don't care what they do. And they out here in these streets. And then what's going to happen is our child is going to fall for that same okie doke of what their friend is doing. We all watch First 48. Shit, we all watch Law and Order, Special Victims Unit. We see how a lot of this stuff goes down. And then when it happens, they come in, oh, my baby was this, my baby was that. She wasn't like this or he wasn't like this until they met you and you and you and you and you. Well, guess what? How do we parent in that situation? How was our parenting when it got to that situation? We knew that our child was no longer listening to us. They was being disobedient. We knew that. And in a lot of these situations, I'm not saying all, a lot of these situations, we have single mothers or single fathers not trying to bring in the other parent. In all honesty, it's a sad thing to see. It's a sad thing to see. Now, like I always tell y'all in all of my videos, I always have a whole personal aspect when it comes down to the things that I talk about. Because I have 2 kids. I was a single parent for a very long time, 9, 10 years. I just recently sent my daughter off to live with her mother. Primarily because, hey, I cannot raise a young lady. The best thing I could teach you is how to be a stud. That's the best thing I can do, but I don't want my child to be a stud. I want my daughter to be a young lady. But before I even get into that, I'm gonna show you one of the clips that I have prepared. And like I said, like it really hits me, you know, when I looked at these little clips that I wanted to present. So let me show it to you.
I'm not gonna keep doing this same thing in my house. You have to get out my house. I'm sorry, I don't know where you're gonna go, but you can call your mama and ask her, can you come back down?
You already know she don't want me with her, so why would you even...
I don't care. You keep doing the same thing. You keep doing the same thing. I send you to school, you ditch your school. You steady calling these little boys. I told you.
I don't even talk to nobody.
Look, I told you to stay away from these little boys. We're not going to keep doing this. I'm not going over this no more with you. You have to get your stuff and get out my house. Yes, you have to figure it out. You got to figure it out. I'm tired. Call your mama right now. Call your mama. See, that's your problem. That's your problem right now. Your attitude. You're only 14 years old. Call your mama.
Now, I've seen a lot of the comments, and you have a lot of women going in on that on that man. He's still a young man to me, because man, I'm tired of y'all women always calling us old when our birthdays get here and we get a year older. Y'all calling us old man, but y'all get to stay 25 all y'all goddamn life. It don't work like that. That young man has a 14-year-old daughter that's being disobedient, disrespectful, and she's falling down a path where his voice is no longer the end all be all. It's no longer tolerable. Bringing drugs into the house. Well, some people don't consider weed a drug, but with all this laced shit that they put in, this fentanyl and all this other bullshit that they put inside this weed, it's a drug now. It's a drug now. It's no longer a regular medicinal plant. It is a drug now with all of this extra stuff that they put inside of it. So he's fed up. He's tired. He ready for her to go. Personally, I feel every word that man has said, because why? I've been through it. I just said earlier, I just sent my daughter, she's 16, about to be 17 in May. I just sent her last year to her mom. And the main reason was, it wasn't that she was fully falling down the wrong path or, you know, things of that nature, of drugs and stuff like that. It was the compulsive lying. Just like he pretty much said, he tired of his daughter lying. It was a compulsive lying and her level of disrespect. And once it gets to the point where me as a man, like, I've always said I don't like putting my hands on women. My wife knows this. My mom knows this. Sometimes, you know, I can count on one hand how many fights I had with my sisters. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't because I wanted to just flat out fight them. It was something that was legit said to me that really hit the soul, that I just felt like I had the need to defend myself in that particular situation. But I can count on one hand how many times I even fought my sisters. I don't like putting my hands on women. And I used to discipline my daughter a lot when she was younger, you know. And the reason why I did that was because, I still had to have some form of discipline and show her that when you're doing things that's bad or that's wrong, you still it's consequences to your actions, you know. But at that time, I was going through a lot of stuff. When I say younger, I'm talking about like 6, 7, 8 years old. And I'm not talking about her in her early teenagers. I was going through a lot of stuff mentally that I felt like I was taking a lot of my bullshit out on my child, and I stopped completely. So I stopped, disciplining my daughter in that way, and I started talking to her a lot more so we can get a understanding. Not really trying to be friends or anything like that, but so we can have an understanding where I give you that green light to where you could come sit and talk to me about anything. Anything. And now that I'm married, I have two stepdaughters. I give them the same thing. Green light. Come talk to me. Whatever you want to talk about, we can do that. There's no problem. I'm going to let you get everything off your chest. But then I'm going to give you everything off of my chest. And it's not going to be like no back and forth screaming, yelling match, nothing like that. No, we just going to sit down. We're going to have a conversation because I'm going to talk to you like you are a young adult. My daughter is 16 now. I've raised her all of her life. She's always lived with me. Whether it was just me and her or it was me, her mom, and my son, she's always lived at whatever address I was at. Facts. Anybody who know me. But it got to a point where she reached high school, and that's where things started going awry with her. Because, throughout her whole grammar school years and things like that, I'm a parent. I'm going to give you whatever you want, plus what you need if you're doing what you're supposed to do. And she was doing what she was supposed to do. Straight A student. All the teachers loved her. She had a great singing voice. They always put her in the plays and things like that. All the teachers loved her. It wasn't until she got to high school. Now, before she got there, I had a long conversation with her. Let her know, like, high school is different from grammar school. You're going to get some teachers that's not going to like you. It's going to be a lot of students in there that's not going to like you. But when it comes down to stuff like that, I'd rather you not react in a negative way. Come talk to me about it so we can figure out how can we maneuver together when it comes down to taking the next steps as far as teachers not liking you and students not liking you and things of that nature. Because what? I've been in high school before. I've been through that before. And me, I'm not one of those parents that's going to go and rah-rah. I'm not going to do none of that unless I have to. If I feel like you're picking on my child, then that's when all the gloves come off. No, we're going to figure this thing out. You have issues with your teachers. I'm going to sit down. Me, you, and the teacher, we're going to talk it out. We're going to figure out, and we're going to figure out how can we move forward together to make sure that these transitions become smooth. Everything was supposed to be peaches and cream. Everything was straight, but it didn't happen that way. So what wound up happening, she reached high school, and she figured out that she's no longer the smartest person in the room. That's what she figured out. She's no longer the smartest person in the room. She's no longer the likable person in the room. Now she's weird to a lot of people. Now she's a know-it-all. So, again, instead of, her coming to me and, talking things out and trying to figure out what can we do and how can I help her mentally get through it, she started pretty much doing her own thing. She started listening to a lot of the people she was hanging out with. And the problem with that was she didn't understand that I see patterns. She didn't understand that I knew that something was switching up with her. So when I'm sitting her down and I'm talking to her, you can just see it. Like everything I'm telling her is going in one ear and right out the other. Like whatever you say, it is what it is. You don't know what you're talking about. You never been in this situation before. Like I wasn't a 16-year-old, a 14-year-old, a 15-year-old, or like I've never been in that situation before. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna step back. I'm gonna let you figure it out. My daughter, she come home, she'll get on her computer, she say she doing homework, and she'll sit at the table for hours. I will legit have to, me or my wife will have to legit tell her, hey, you going to get up off that computer. Oh, I'm still doing my homework. This. Hey, look, you had a lot of time to get this homework done. What's taking so long? What's the problem? What you need help with? Just finish it tomorrow. It's not due until such and such day. Same thing over and over and over with. Over and over and over again. I'm sorry. Again. And those were all lies. Come to find out, she got herself in this little group where they was all cheating off each other, giving each other the answers. So while she's sitting there at the computer all goddamn day, she waiting for the answers to be filtered down to her so she can give answers to another person so they can give answers to another person. So they getting all their schoolwork right, but doing horrible on the test. So then I'm sitting down, I'm talking to her, and I'm asking her, like, what's going on? How is it that you're getting all your schoolwork right, but you're not doing so well on these tests? And it all came down to the same thing. Oh, I'm not a great test taker, or I don't think the teacher really cared for me like this, and a bunch of bullshit. Same thing I used to try to feed my mama. But the stuff I fed my mama, I got slapped for because she knew I was lying. But I didn't take that role. I wanted to coach. I wanted to talk to you. I wanted to figure out how can I help you? How can I guide you through this? The way, I wasn't fully guided through in things of that nature. Like I wanted to be very hands-on because I know high school can be very overwhelming. It can be very overwhelming. So tried. My wife tried. Nothing. Same thing over and over. Went through her whole freshman year. She got the good grades. She, filtered out with all A's and B's, but it was the work ethic to get to it. And then once I figured out what was going on after the end of the school year, all of those grades was like flawed to me because you sat back and you waited and y'all was cheating off each other, a whole little cheating ring. So you really wasn't doing this work yourself. So going into her sophomore year, I went at it again. I told me and my wife, we confronted her, and we also confronted our stepdaughter too, because she goes to Thornwood, and she wasn't doing none of the cheating and stuff like that. She was just a goddamn class clown and wanted to be goofy and shit, and wanted to be, a big dog and stuff like that. You could say influencer is what they call it now. And we sat them both down and we talked to them, let them know it was going to be some changes. And if you don't want to listen to us, then I guess it's time for you to listen to your other parent, which means we were going to ship you off to your other parent. So, sophomore year goes, we get to like the second quarter mark, and it's the same thing. The exact same thing. Now, there's a little boy involved. And my daughter, she wasn't understanding of how her sexuality is. One minute she might want to like a girl. One minute she liked the boy. She wanted to try some things with this boy to see where her mind and stuff is like that. And I'm like, you can talk to me about this stuff. I tell her all the time, you can talk to me about this stuff. At the end of the day, I know you're going to talk to boys. I know if you like girls, I know you're going to talk to girls. I know because I did the same shit. There's no parent right now that can sit here and say that they didn't do the same thing that their kids were doing in high school. But again, I can help you navigate through that stuff. I can filter some things down and help you out in a lot of situations. Now, as far as your sexuality and which way you want to swing, that's your choice. It's your choice how you want to play it out. I'm going to be here to support you no matter what. So, once again, sitting around all day trying to get the work done. I'm talking about sitting at the table for hours. Hours. But then going to the school and straight up lying on me, my household. To the point where CPS was about to get involved. Because she couldn't get her work done in time. And she didn't want to take the necessary steps to reach out to her teachers and stuff like that to see if they have like after school or anything like that or any form of tutoring that can help. It took for me to do that. And with me doing that, that's when I found out that, hey, your daughter was saying this, and this, and she was doing all of this, which was stopping her from doing her work. And coming to find out that there's a case being built on me. And I'm sitting here like, what? And I talked to all her teachers like, hey, all she do is sit at the table all goddamn day. And she says she's doing her work. Nobody distracts her. She don't do none of that stuff. But good thing, I know people. People know me. And I got people to vouch. So when that came about, I was done. I said, you know what? You down there, you lying on my name. You lying on my household. And everything that comes out your mouth means something. Your word means everything. People are going to take you at your word. And if you're going down there and you're lying to these people about why you can't get your work done in a timely manner so they can feel sorry for you, so you can be able to get extensions, they're going to investigate everything that you said. So what you pretty much what you did was you wanted to do what you need to do so you can get extra time to do your work at the expense of your stepbrother, your stepsister, your younger brother, and have people come into our household and investigate us for absolutely no reason. And when they come, they do not leave. They might not, they might go away for a little while, but they're going to always be watching for no reason. So it was an emotional moment for me. It broke me down. I called her mama quick. Her mother does not live in Chicago. I called her mama. I said, hey, I don't know what you have to do. If there's anything that you can do. If you can't, I'll figure some stuff out. But she has to go. She has to go. It was causing rifts between me and my wife because she was being very disrespectful to my wife. It was causing rift between the kids because her oldest daughter, she's 17 now, but they're the same age. It was causing rift between them two. So it was chaotic. She became a cancer to my household. And it's hard to deal with that on top of now knowing I have a CPS case being built on top of that, then working my ass off to try to make sure that I can keep a roof over our head. So I made that decision. I made that phone call, and I said, hey, I don't know what you have to do. If you can, I need you to take her off my hands. Did that hurt? Yes, it did. I had her ever since she came out the womb. Not a day went by that she didn't see dad. Not a day went by that we didn't have interactions, we didn't watch movies, we didn't play, we didn't go somewhere. Not a single day went by, all the way up until she was 16. But that was a decision that had to be made. Now she's living with her mom, and from everything that I hear, she's doing perfectly fine. She's doing well. I love to see it. And if it took for me to give her a different voice, for her to do better and develop, then hey, I did my job. I did my job. Because at the end of the day, as a man, I cannot teach her how to be a woman. I can't. I've had a penis my whole life. So I can't teach her how to be a woman. Like I said earlier, the only thing I can teach you is how to be a stud. That's it. That's the only thing I could. And that was probably one of the reasons why she was struggling with her sexuality, because the way I was raising her, I was only teaching her the only way I could. And everything was from a male perspective. So everything she's been doing out there with her mom, everything has been good. I haven't been getting any phone calls about anything negative or anything like that. So all is well. All is well, and I'm happy I made that decision. I'm very happy I made that decision. But as I said before, I have a stepdaughter. She, same thing. She wanted to be the big dog. She wanted to be a head honcho. She wanted to be an influencer. She wanted to act up in school, playing around with those teachers when they don't want to be played with, walking out the house late at night while we sleep, thinking that we weren't gonna find out. And I don't understand, because her father, cool boy. When I say he was how I was before I had to slow down, boy, he don't play with her. But she kept playing with him. She kept playing. So, with her, I found out about, what she was going on and things like that, her sexuality and stuff. And she don't have a problem coming to talk to me. She'll come talk to me quick. Ken, I got to talk to you about something. I'm like, shit. Damn, now I got to sit here and listen. Okay. Got to get my mind right. So yeah, like, yeah, what's up? We'll talk about some things and we'll be cool. It's all cool. She never gave me a problem. Never gave me an issue. Some of the dumb things that she was doing was pissing me off, but it's like she got her mother and her father in her life. I'm just the third person. You know what I'm saying? I'm the added dad, So if he can't get to her, she can't get to her, I'm right there. Boom. Now it's my turn. Sometimes I try to be the cool head, where, things getting out of hand. I try to be the person to be the most calm, even though most of the time she need that ass whooped. But I can go into full detail and things like that with her. But she's actually doing a lot better as well. We also had to send her with her dad, just so she can get a new voice. The same thing, voices are not, my voice, my wife's voice wasn't strong enough for neither one of those two. And my wife, she made the decision to pass her on to her father, because she raised her all the way up until now. And she passed her on to her father for the next couple years. So, like I said, it's a hard decision to make. It's a very hard decision to make. But sometimes we have to be real with ourselves and understand, like, hey, I did it for this long. My voice is not strong anymore. I'm tired of taking stuff from them. I'm tired of want to beat their ass. I'm not doing that no more. Go ahead. It's your turn. It's your turn. It's okay. It's okay to say that. Us as parents, we have to understand our voices have to be strong. Because if my voice is no longer becoming strong, your voice, the other parent voice, has to be strong. And when we doing this together, that's when we get the best version of our children, when we're doing it together. But the problem is we don't do it together. Everybody is doing it on their own. You got a lot of women that's happy to say they independent women, but then you're looking at the results of their kids, and the results of being independent women is killing their kids. They're going out here falling for the okie doke. They out here pretty much doing the same thing that you were doing times 2, 3, 4, and 5. We gotta let that stuff go. I don't say forget what happened to you. But when it comes down to these kids, as long as they wasn't molesting these kids, let's work together for the sake of the kid. That's something we need to do. But before I continue, I want to take a brief intermission because I got another video from my man Spud Cotton, $1 Million Dreams. That's that feel-good music, man. It's feel-good music. Check it out.
Yo, so it was like 2003, I met Spud at a cypher. Lil' homie went in for like 3 minutes, killing him. Spit some big L. Crowd didn't know though. Everybody just had a good feeling, like hearing him spit and watching him do his thing. It was just so much passion. It's been history ever since, you know what I mean? I made a move without a sound. If you never heard about me, then you finna know me now. And believe it's going down. And believe it's going down. I made a move without a sound. You see lyrics as my weapons. I'ma spit a couple rounds. I may never know what $1 million brings, but I keep waking up to these $1 million dreams. Hey, look, sweet dreams, I can taste it. Red pill, blue pill matrix. It's a celebration and tonight I'm gonna get wasted. I'm just being honest, but I can't make no promise. We gon' celebrate and toast to the goals that we accomplished. But who gon' lift the shorties up? Niggas kill for 40 bucks. I know some youngins about that life, just tell them put the 40 up. Situation crazy, so I'm gotta keep the 30 tough. I just pray to God, hoping that we all see 30 up. I just mind my business, only way to get my funds right. It's a dark world, they say I could be the sunlight. Pops coming through with that turn up, get the sun right. We don't want no gunfight, to chill and sip on something nice. I made a move without a sound. If you never heard about me, then you finna know me now. And believe it's going down. And believe it's going down. I made a move without a sound. Use the lyrics as my weapons. I'ma spit a couple rounds. I may never know what $1 million brings, but I keep waking up to these $1 million dreams. I'm focused, yeah, you know this. Spitbox, you know I'm the dopest. I don't got no time to lose, no time to live like hopeless. Started with my own crying, and really that's the main thing. Yeah, we all gon' sleep tonight, but we don't dream them same dreams. Where you been at in the crib, I'm stacking them digits. I gotta get this money, man, it's grind, committed. I got some niggas loyal, they faithful, they with it. And granddad wanna see me graduate, I did it. RIP, I owe you. I study your old moves. You taught me how to be a man and put me on this old school. Granny taught me how to testify and tell the whole truth. Looking at the game and then these niggas fake don't know you. Now who gon' show these youngsters that the devil is the monsters? What's crazy, we got Brandon still throwing babies in the dumpsters. They told me up in due time, this precious you're to do fine. Came a long way from writing on the red and blue lines. I made a move without a sound. If you never heard about me, then you finna know me now. And believe it's going down. and believe it's going down. I made a move without a sound. You see lyrics as my weapons, I'ma spit a couple rounds. I may never know what $1 million brings, but I keep waking up to these $1 million dreams.
All right. We back. $1 million dreams, man. $1 million dreams, man. Bro, that song dope, man. I listen to that song a lot. I listen to it a lot. Spud Cotton, man. Check him out. Man. Go to YouTube, Spud Cotton. He got that feel good music. Man. A lot of people don't have that. And a lot of this music that I hear out here today is just mess. That has a very great message that everybody needs to hear. Because everybody has $1 million dream that they wake up to. You just got to figure out a way to make that dream go. Got to make it go. Get that $1 million in your pocket. Everybody got it. But back to the topic at hand. Like I said, today is Unpopular Opinion Day. And like I said, sometimes those decisions have to be made. And especially for, these young boys. These young boys is even worse. It's even worse. Because the path that they can go down it's how honestly, it's like sit there and watch your son go down the path that either one, you never went down, or you trying to stop them from going down because you went down that path. And as a man, you want to really be a part of your son's life. But a lot of these women, they're stopping that. And like I said before, let's push our differences to the side. Because how many women done seen a son in a situation like this?
And then you want to pray, if you get a second chance, how you going to turn this here around, okay? So your life ain't over. You just need a second chance. So that's what you need to dwell on and pray about. A second chance. And sit down and think about how you going to make this happen. And obey your parents. And come in, come home on time. Come in, come home. Number one, streets don't love you. We love you, not the streets. You see where the streets get you?
Could you give me a hug, baby? From a okay? I'm sorry you got to go through this. But all you had to do was listen to your parents. Okay? Okay? I don't know how things gonna turn out for you. I ain't got no idea how nothing gonna turn out. No idea at all. I didn't know nothing this second. I told y'all don't tell me nothing. Didn't I tell you that? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, baby. So I'm so sorry you got to go through what you're going through. But if God help you out of this, please get yourself together, baby. And it's going to take a miracle. It's going to take a miracle that we don't have. You can turn me loose now.
Now, that was mom, that was grandmother, son, grandson. Little buddy just got booked for a 35 piece. Got booked for a 35 piece. I'm not sure what the situation is with the father, but as you can see, he wasn't part of that video. And I've watched many different versions. In the longer version of that video, dad wasn't there. I'm not sure if he knew about it. I'm not sure if he's even alive. He might be in jail. Don't know. But I'm just going to say, for the sake of parenting, as a mother, you know when your son is going down the wrong path. I've watched my mom raise kids by herself as a single parent. Especially, I had 2 other brothers. She watched them. She tried everything she could to keep my brothers on a good path. We had a piece of shit father that didn't care. He didn't care. He didn't want to be a part. In a lot of situations, you have piece of shits that don't want to be a part of their kids' lives. So if you have a baby daddy that's a piece of shit that don't want to be a part of the kids' lives, all I can say is, as a mother, please put some form of a male positive influence in their kids' lives, in your kids' lives. Please. Somebody you will allow to take snatch by that collar. Give them that male presence. Because if you have a baby daddy that's a piece of shit, don't want to be a part of their kid's life, or you don't put a positive male influence in your son's life, then there's a motherfucker out there named Ray Ray. And if y'all watch South Central, I'm a movie head. Y'all watch South Central. There's a mog out there named Ray Ray that's gonna snatch your son up and put him in situations where he don't need to be in. Why? Because he don't have that male influence that's gonna snatch him by that collar, make him, put him on strong, make him straight and narrow, filter this bullshit that's going on out here in these streets. Show him that these little monks out here ain't your friends. Be that filter. We don't have it. They don't have it. And sometimes, like I said, being a mom, dealing with boys is very stressful. I watch my mom do it. I've watched my mom send my oldest brother to my dad. Stayed with him for a little bit, and then he was right back. Because like I said, my dad was a piece of shit. But if you have a man that's willing to be a part of your son's life, I'm talking about a real father, don't fight with that. Let him in. What y'all had going on, don't let that filter out on the child. Let him in, let him deal with that boy. You get to the point where you stressed out, he's trying to roam these streets, he's doing stupid shit, go ahead, pack him up, send him on to his father. Send him to him. Because either you gonna see your son like this, about to get booked for 35 years, or you're gonna see him in a casket. Those have been the main options that I've been seeing out here in these streets. Now, there are some phenomenons. There are some that actually make it out here. But ask them how difficult it was for them to make it. All the hoops and hurdles that they had to do just to make it. I'm happy and I can applaud that they made it. I can definitely applaud that they made it. But the road that they had to take in order to make it was very difficult for them to make it. Unless they was a basketball player or a football player or something like that. Anything dealing with sports related, you know what I'm saying? Like LeBron, he was raised by a single mother. And you see what his life is. It's a lot of football players raised by single mothers, and the mothers had to sacrifice and things like that. And they live in a life. But the ones who not sports, or not in the world of sports or athletic, they got it hard. They had it hard to make it. Because they could have easily been influenced and been one of them little mogs that got snatched up by Ray Ray. got caught out there robbing, stealing, and getting booked for a 35 piece or put in that coffin. Or they just out there kicking the bobos, knowing you're supposed to be in the house, but you want to be on the streets kicking it with Ray Ray and Pookie and them. They into it with the mogs up the street. Shots fired. He gone. Your mother got to get that call. No. We need both parents. We need both parents. And like I said, if you feel like your voice isn't strong enough, and send them to the next parent. Pack them up, take them to the next parent. Not the next parent, the other parent. If they're willing. Because you just can't drop them off. But you got to have another voice when your voice is not working anymore. Because these kids today are very, very influenced. Very influenced. But before I end the show, I got to listen to that Feel Good song one more time. I got to listen to it one more time. Spud Cotton, man, you did your thing with this one.
Yo, so it was like 2003. I met Spud at a cypher. Lil' homie went in for like 3 minutes, killing him. Spit some big L. Crowd didn't know though. Everybody just had a good feeling, like hearing him spit and watching him do his thing. It was just so much passion. It's been history ever since, you know what I mean?
I made a move without a sound. If you never heard about me, then you finna know me now. And believe it's going down. And believe it's going down. I made a move without a sound. You see lyrics as my weapons. I'ma spit a couple rounds. I may never know what $1 million brings, but I keep waking up to these $1 million dreams. Hey look, sweet dreams, I can taste it. Red pill, blue pill matrix. It's a celebration and tonight I'm gonna get wasted. I'm just being honest, but I can't make no promise. We gon' celebrate and toast to the goals that we accomplished. But who gon' lift the shorties up? Niggas kill for $40. I know some youngins about that life, just tell them put the 40 up. Situation crazy, so I'm gotta keep the 30 tucked. I just pray to God, hoping that we all see 30 up. I just mind my business, only way to get my funds right. It's a dark world, they say I could be the sunlight. Pops coming through with that turn up, get it sun right. We don't want no gunfight, to chill and sip on something nice. I made a move without a sound. If you never heard about me, then you finna know me now. And believe it's going down. And believe it's going down. I made a move without a sound. You see lyrics as my weapons. I'ma spit a couple rounds. I may never know what $1 million brings, but I keep waking up to these $1 million dreams. I'm focused, yeah, you know this. Spit boss, you know I'm the dopest. I don't got no time to lose, no time nor live like hopeless. Started with my own crying, and really that's the main thing. Yeah, we all gon' sleep tonight, but we don't dream them same dreams. Where you been at in the crib? I'm stacking them digits. I gotta get this money, man, it's grind, committed. I got some niggas loyal, they faithful, they with it. And granddad wanna see me graduate, I did it. RIP, I owe you. I study your old moves. You taught me how to be a man and put me on this old school. Granny taught me how to testify and tell the whole truth. Looking at the game and then these niggas fake don't know you. Now who gon' show these youngsters that the devil is the monsters? What's crazy, we got Brandon still throwing babies in the dumpsters. They told me up in due time, this press is sure to do fine. Came a long way from writing on them red and blue lines. I made a move without a sound. If you never heard about me, then you finna know me now. And believe it's going down. And believe it's going down. I made a move without a sound. You see lyrics as my weapons, I'ma spit a couple rounds. I may never know what $1 million brings, but I keep waking up to these $1 million dreams.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Man, that song dope. I love the message. I love the message, man. I love it. But back to what I'm saying before I end this show is that as a father, one thing we don't want to see is our daughter going down a path where she have to use what she got to get what she want. Because if you look at what's going on with the Zeus Network, the baddies, and all of this other stuff, OnlyFans and stuff like that, this is what's happening, man. She using what she got to get what she want. And the last thing as a father that I would want to see is my son to fall victim to these streets. So, with that being said, for parents, just for the parents, man. If you're a single mother and you have your baby daddy, I hate the term baby daddy, but just for this sake, your baby daddy, if he's trying to be a part of his kid's life, please let that man do it. Let him do it. To all the single fathers, if you have your baby mama, even though it's kind of crazy, seeing that they're real legit single fathers, out here with the mother not being deceased or anything like that. It's kind of crazy, but if you have a baby mama that's trying to be a part of her kid's life, even though she left them kids with you, let her. Let her. Because these voices are needed. Different voices are needed. And if we don't allow those different voices to come in, then our voice becomes stale. And that's where all hell breaks loose. When your voice is no longer tolerable, that's when we lose control. And that's when another voice outside of the realm of your parent becomes stronger than yours and more influential than yours. And that's when your child will go down a path that's going to hurt them in the long run. Now, of course, when they get older and they start to break whatever cycle that they was going through, then they start to understand, like, oh yeah, mom was right. Oh yeah, dad was right. But it's already too late. The damage have been done. Let's get in tune. Let's stop the damage before it even started. Let's stop lying to our kids about who started what and why this parent isn't around. We have to be truthful to our kids. Let's be honest. And if we can't be honest with each other, why do you expect for our kids to be honest with us? Because everything they see and do is learned behaviors. So for this episode of Unpopular Opinion on the Top Prize Podcast, I want y'all to take it. I want y'all to receive it. If you have your opinion about it, put it in the comments. You want to talk about it, you want to go in depth with it, you want to come on to the show, you want to talk about it and go really in depth, I'll bring you in. We can talk deeper. We can get deeper. I want us to be able to come together, to be able to agree to disagree, but still focus on the task at hand. And in this situation, the task at hand is to stop our young men from becoming the stigma of a YN. To stop our young women to have that stigma of a hoe. Sorry. We don't want them to have those stigmas. We want them to be a young man and a young woman doing what they are doing to get to where they need to get to. And that's through the proper guidance of both voices, whether they're in the same household or different households. But one voice can't trump another voice. It has to be on the same wavelength. Because if it's not, what I say, all hell will break loose. Kids will play both sides to the point where somebody else's voice is going to be a lot more influential. And I've already said earlier, somebody named Ray Ray is going to snatch your son. We all saw Players Club. We saw how Diamond got snatched up and then turned around, her cousin got snatched up. Not saying that your daughter's going to be strippers. I'm just saying the logic behind it. It's going to be a female that's going to come in and flat out, you going to do this. I'm going to make sure you do that. So in conclusion, parents, let's get our shit together. Come on, parents. Let's get our shit together so we can go ahead and raise these kids the way they need to be raised. Because if we don't raise these kids the way they need to be raised, like I said, somebody else is going to raise them. And there's nothing that we're going to be able to do until it's too late. We've already seen young girls going out to different countries with their friends, and their friends done turned on them and beat her and killed her out there and left her for dead and flew back like it was nothing. And nothing is happening to them. We just seen a young man right here in Chicago. Walking down the street with his friends, and one of them pulled out a gun and shot him in the back of his fucking head. Not everybody is your friend, and these kids will not understand that unless we have both voices saying the same thing at the same time and being strong and firm about it. But we're too divided. But I hope and pray whoever watches this, you understand where I'm coming from. You feel it, you receive it, and then you comment. So we can understand you. We can receive what you're saying, so we can feel where you coming from. Let's open this up, because this right here is just a tip of the iceberg. Just a little tip of the iceberg. We're not talking about how crazy this actually can really go and how deep this really goes. This is not even the root of what's really going on. But we won't know until we get dialogue. We won't know. Let's run the numbers up on this one. Let me know if you agree. Like I said, this is a no judgment zone. We don't judge. Your opinion is your opinion. It is what it is. And I'm not just going to flat out call you wrong or stupid or anything like that. We're not going to fight. We're not going to have a screaming match or anything like that. I like to bring these debates because We need to understand how everybody think, how everybody parent, so we could be able to help these young kids out here today. And the problem is we don't really have those ways because everybody is divided. But this is my unpopular opinion from Top Prize Podcast. Thank you for joining in, and I would like to see y'all for future episodes. Thank you.